إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. One hadith so powerful that really reflects to you how much Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was loved from the Sahaba and how much you should sacrifice to love him sallallahu alaihi wasallam, especially when someone is talking about him. Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu يقول قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن من أمتي أشد الناس حبا لي أناس يأتون بعدي يود أحدهم لو يراني بأهله وماله. He's saying that from my ummah, the Muslims, the followers of the Sunnah, people, they love me so much and they come after I leave. He's talking about you, Ahmadullah, and he's talking about you, yeah, Mr. Najih, Faiz, and talking about you and me and all of us. Love him so much, but some of us, you would wish, or those kind of people would wish, just to see Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to see him, just to look at him, like he passes by there or stands at the door, or just go and look at him. You pay for that. You give up your family and your wealth. You're willing to sacrifice your mom and your dad and your cash and your job and everything just to see him. It's not to hug him or to live with him or to ask him for a dua or da'wah or anything, to see him with your eyes. Can you imagine those who lived with him? How much they really loved him? Now maybe you can understand why the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum, in a spot that you cannot reach. Look what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. If you spend for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as much as the mountain of Uhud gold, it's not equal to a small spending of theirs. The level of sincerity that they have outweighs your whole spending as much as the mountain of Uhud. And he even told the companions, radiyallahu anhum, he said, there will come a time that I would leave you and any of you would wish to see me again, would spend his money and his family for that. Saad, I want you to think, Sheikh, think, your mom and your dad, you give them up to see Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Honestly, would you do that? Come on, Shah. You have to scratch your beard. Maybe when we talk about money, you say, oh, I'll do that. Right, Hasan? Because you ain't got nothing. But if you got $1 million or $2 million, you would scratch your beard, at least, as if there was a beard. Talha, what can you think about that? Mom, dad, children. You might give your mom and dad, but children? No, it's the hardest thing. Which is easier for the person to give up, mom and dad or children? Mom and dad. Definitely. Children, that's why your mom and dad love you so much. And we have to beg you to just be this much, give them that much love. You give up children, mom and dad, to just see him. You know, it reminds me of one person came to the Shaykh, dying to see the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Any of you ever dreamt that they saw Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? You know, if you dream, and your dream description matches, then you actually saw Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But if you dream about seeing him and the description don't match, then that was the shaitan trying to look like Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A man came to the Shaykh and he said, I wanted to see Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, please help me. He told him, you need to follow the rules. He said, I will. He said, you're going to spend the night here with me. I will. I'm willing to do anything to just see Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I want to show you the sincerity level. So he came. He served him dinner, very salty. I mean, close to achar, maybe a little bit more. Salty. You don't know what salty dinner is? What does it require? A gallon of water. So, Sheikh, can I have a drink? No, no drinks. But I'm thirsty. You said you're going to live by the rules. No water. He was dying to drink. So he left him, went to sleep, woke up in the morning, came to him and said, yeah, young man, tell me, have you seen Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Any dreams? He said, no, I didn't see him. He said, did you have any dreams? He said, yes. He said, what did you dream? He said, I dreamt that I was swimming in the water and there was rivers and there was springs and water everywhere. He told him, you went to sleep attached to water. You saw it. If you went to sleep really the way you meant you want to see Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you were so determined, you will see him. Maybe that's why, Ya Sheikh Mustafa, I wish to see and you wish to see and we don't see. Because our wishing is not powerful enough to really see him. If you go to sleep thinking of something so much and worried about it so much, you will dream about it. Do you know, if you have an important meeting or interview or something, that if you miss, it will be the worst thing of your life, and you actually don't want to even sleep thinking about it? You know, you set the alarm, you wake up before the alarm or right on time when the alarm rings, because your mind is programmed at that time and you really mean it. But when it comes to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we're not that really in love with him. That's why we don't see. But I wish that I will be and you will be from those people who are willing to give everything to follow the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is the difference, is to act upon it. That's the love. When you read about it, you pay attention. When you hear someone talking about it, you pay attention. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا تُقَدِّمُوا بَيْنَ يَدَيِ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ سَمِيعٌ عَلِيمٌ. لا ترفعوا أصواتكم فوق صوت النبي. Don't raise your voice over the voice of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Well, the voice of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not here. It's my voice talking about him, so don't raise your voice over my voice, because I am representing him. That is the true love. When someone talks about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you pay attention, respect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of the hadith scholars, he was reclining, and then someone came and asked him about a hadith. He fixed the chair and he started fixing himself, looking good, and he sat properly, and then he was so attentive and he started to say, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, and he's stuttering and repeating the hadith, and at the end he said, or something like that, or something similar to that, or كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. Worried about changing words and not saying it exactly the way Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said it. At the same time, he was presenting himself as if he is actually speaking to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. These are the guys that we talk about. These are the Sahaba, and these are the Tabi'een. These are those people who gave up. They sold their homes, their mom, their dad, their children, their spouses, everything, and they migrated with him. When he said time to go to Medina, everyone followed him. And if you want to tell you, or if you want me to tell you about the story of Salama and her husband and her baby, when her baby's arm was ripped because the family of her husband want the baby and the family of her family, her own family, want the baby because the husband went and they don't want to let his wife go with the child. The child is between Salama and Abu Salama, so the husband's family want the child and the wife's family want the child. They fought over the child. They start pulling until they pull the hand of the child. And you know what? Abu Salama continued going. His wife is left with her family and his son. And you can imagine, this is similar to Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam leaving Hajar and her son. What's his name? Ismail alayhi salam. Did not leave because he doesn't care. It's because there's something more love to him, which is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And his wife did not say, where you going? You're leaving me here. What kind of a husband are you? She was doing everything to follow him. And she cried for a whole year. Every day she goes out crying. She doesn't have her son and she doesn't have her husband. And then one of the men felt so sad for her, so he went and interceded and they gave her the son. And what did she do? Took her son and headed out to Medina alone. A woman with a child walking, not with a camel or a horse, alone to Mecca, to Medina. And then one of the gentlemen, disbelievers, found her and he said, young lady, where are you going? She said, I'm going following my husband. He said, who's with you? She said, alone. He said, you will not travel alone. He traveled with her, pulling the camel. When they rest, he pulled the camel. He moves away. She steps down. Then he comes and takes the camel, sleeps on a corner far away from her. When it's time to go, he brings the camel close to her. He turns around until she arrives. Then he takes the camel and walked all that time to Medina. And when he arrived to the camp, he said, your husband is right over there. Salaam alaikum. Not a single thing or question or anything from her. And she made it there. That's what we call love of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Can you do that? Work on it, you will be inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.